Whatever's most convenient for you.
Good morning. I want to welcome everyone to the special called meeting of Warren County Fiscal Court for Thursday, March 23rd at 8 a.m. Thank you all for coming out early today for some conflicts. But we want to start off, very importantly, we've got a great friend of ours, Gary Mitchell with Life Church 146, and we're going to ask Pastor Mitchell to come forward. After that, by the way, we'll have Esquire Lawrence lead us in the pledge.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to greet everyone before we start to pray today. I asked permission about a comment I wanted to make. In the Old Testament, the Bible talks about gatekeepers, talks about when the business of the community was important. The people invited the elders of that community, the leadership of that community would meet at the gate of the city, and they would discuss the welfare of that village, of that community, of that county, if you will. Yesterday, when I was talking to Crystal about praying today, I thought about what an incredible responsibility and opportunity the leaders of this community have to be gatekeepers for Warren County, to be elders that will understand the significance of the needs that our county has. I thank you for your serving. God honors people that serve because he serves us. And so when you go about the county's business, each one of you, I want to thank you in advance for being the elder of these communities and representing each citizen here and doing a great job of it. Don't listen to what they say, okay? just do what your best is. That's what God requires. He said, in everything you do, do it with excellence as unto the Lord. Let's pray together. Good morning again, Father. We thank you for the privilege to enter your presence in the name of your Son. We thank you that that privilege allows us to have conversation with you on matters of our hearts and on our minds, things that affect us physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. You are not only the God of the universe, but you have allowed us to call you Abba Father, Daddy Father. You've said that you want a relationship with each of us so intimate that we can consider you to be our Father in heaven. And this morning, as each person comes to represent our county, not just our elders, our leadership, our gatekeepers, but as each person brings before you the importance of what's going on in our community, I ask you that you would honor their desires and their efforts to accomplish the things that would bring to light the needs of our county. I thank you for our leadership, our judge, our commissioners, and each one, and Miss Amy, and each one that represent this wonderful county. We thank you for this community that still desires to seek you first in all matters of life. We ask you, Lord, that you would have your hand on Brenda. She begins her new journey of life. We thank you for her devotion and dedication to this county. We ask these things because we know that you hear our prayer, oh God, in your Son, Jesus. Amen and amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Judge.
Please stand and face the flag. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for those words, Pastor Mitchell, and appreciate your help as well with the Sheriff's Department and being one of the pastoral members of that team as well. It's an important thing for us, and all your work up at Western as well. Thank you so much. All right. Clerk, please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Here.
Esquire McWhorter.
Here.
Esquire Lawrence.
Here.
Esquire Aldridge.
Here.
Esquire Lasley.
Here.
Esquire Cummings.
Here. All right. First item, approved minutes of the fiscal court meeting of March 3rd, 2023.
Motion.
So a motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Williams. Corrections? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is approve the work schedule for the Warren County Road Department.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 6, approve the personnel changes for Warren County.
So moved.
Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Any questions or discussions? If not, please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'd like to take a short break here for just a moment. I'd like to have James Markram come forward for a little presentation.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Magistrate. As gatekeepers, as he mentioned earlier, the Maintenance Department facilities has a great group of employees. Each one of them are friends, colleagues, they become family. And as one reaches a milestone of retirement, Mr. James Miley is going to retire next week, along with Brenda and Miss Marie, after 20 years. And as you guys know, 20 years is 5,000 days of getting up and coming in here and taking care of some of the smallest items to the biggest items that you can possibly do. So at this time, we'd like to present him with a small token of our appreciation, which is a little piece of crystal, and let him know that we appreciate what he's done for the last 20 years. You want to step up here with me, sir? Come on. This is yours. We'll let you put it on. Well, only not to so you don't break it, but.
I want to thank the county for letting me be here for 20 years. I remember Brenda called me in 2003 to come to work at yesterday. I came. I've been there since 2003. Amy told me I was going to do it last year. Amy said, give me one more year. And I get one more year. I'd like to thank all my friends, especially my boss and my co-workers. They have been good work over 20 years. I'm going to miss y'all. And may God bless y'all.
Yeah.
You should feel really nice because the surveyor came to come wish you best wishes.
Yeah.
When the county surveyor comes in court, you know it's
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
Well, he called Brenda Hale when I used to run the Loop Center to get me this job. And he's a very good friend.
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Judge
Yep.
Miley did want to retire about a little over a year ago, and I begged him to stay to give us one more year
Yeah.
to make it to that 20-year milestone, and he did, and he's overcome so many obstacles health-wise, and but was here every day, and we're so thankful for him and his service to Warren County, and he makes the Justice Center bright.
Yeah.
And so it's there's going to be a big hole when he's not there every day, and we
Yeah.
sure love him, and we're going to miss him. We're not going away. He's just not going to see us every day. So
Yeah.
we still want to come and visit. So
Coming back.
okay,
Yeah.
good.
Well, James, on behalf of, thank you. On behalf of Warren County, we so appreciate your service, and you've been a fantastic servant, someone who has worked hard with a smile and has treated everyone the same. And Jane, we definitely are going to miss you. You're welcome anytime, but what an honor it is to be with you today in court. So thank you so much for coming. If you wouldn't mind, we'll come out there. We'd like to get a picture. James, can you take the picture? We prefer you not to be in it. No, I'm playing. James, stay. I'm kidding. It's fine. So. Yeah, and Barry, come on up here. What about that? All right. Come around over now. I'll get you right in front of everybody. All right. Well, we think we'll go. All right, this right here is fine. I'll just stay right in the middle. We'll set her up here and then Barry get in there in front. Okay. That's fine. Judge Matt. Here. Sit right. Get right here, Barry. Okay. You're good. Yeah. We might have to. I don't know if that's good.
I'll get that picture.
thank you for all your hard work. Appreciate you a lot. Appreciate all you do.
You don't want to do that. He just steps right over the line.
Yeah.
Just good heads up. You know, if I was laying in bed, they're like, oh yeah, this you're gonna make it nice.
All right, perfect. We're going to have one more presentation. Really, it was hard. I didn't get very much sleep last night because I was pretty excited about this. We've got Abraham Williams in the house.
Oh.
And,
Dr. Abraham Williams.
but thankfully, no one's more pleased that he brought Katie than I am. And so now Abraham's going to give us a little, they're going to give us a little update on our affordable housing and a few other things. So that's what I said. I was like, I saw her, felt a lot better about things.
Yeah,
Katie?
I know we all are happy he's not speaking, because he's
Yes.
really not going to tell you about affordable housing. He's going to talk about each one of you is what he would do. So, gave me the mic.
Yeah.
So a little bit about the affordable housing. The fiscal court was gracious enough to give us $1 million to provide affordable housing in an area next to our main office on Double Springs Road. We are going to be developing 22 lots. Those houses will range in price from about $195,000 to $205,000. We currently have 12 individuals that have been pre-approved to go to the subdivision, so we haven't even really put it out there. We've had that many individuals contact us. So we are working on that. Scott and Ritter was awarded the bid for the infrastructure. We will sign a contract with them next week to begin that process. And from that, we've got a couple builders lined up we're going to sell lots to. The Housing Authority is going to build some houses themselves. So we're really excited. I think it's a great opportunity. The lack of affordable housing in the community is great. So we're really excited about it.
Great.
Is there any questions? You may talk longer. I know Mr. Williams will probably talk 10 more minutes. So.
Any questions for Katie?
Was there I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Amy.
I just wondered, was there an approval process and that the individuals had to go through in order to qualify?
So they have to be low income and then they have to be pre-approved at the bank is what it is. And so we are also working on getting down payment assistance to help offset some of the costs, because we know a $200,000 house is affordable but not really affordable. So we're working on that as well.
So your infrastructure contract you're starting, how long before you'll actually have lots ready to build on?
So the contract with Scott and Ritter is for 210 days. So what is that, 7 months?
Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Perfect.
Well, I think what's really one of the most important things is with this, we were able to, fiscal court was able to do this through the ARPA funding. And the first and most important thing is 22 families are generationally going to be changed forever. And it is a fantastic thing. For a lot of people, when they hear about affordable housing and then hear $200,000, that doesn't jive too well. But that is the reality of where we are in the world today. And so there are no more such things as a 3-bedroom, $115,000 home or whatever it was when everyone was growing up. Those days are gone. But what the Housing Authority has been able to do by being able to subsidize the infrastructure costs, they're going to make a difference in these families. And I'm proud of the work they're doing. It's a fantastic subdivision. And they have more property out there. And so Abraham does a fantastic job with his staff. And I think there'll be more things to come out in that area. But we're excited for this development, something great. It'll be a great Christmas out there with a lot of construction going on and seeing a change in there. And so thank you so much. We're always proud to partner with the Housing Authority of Bowling Green. They do such a great job, and so it means a lot to us. And so thank you so much. And they've done a great job of keeping in touch with everything along the way. They were very diligent in the bidding process, went through all the correct things and worked everyone down to get the best price possible for those 22 lots. But yeah, I know Abraham, there's no, yeah.
I do have a map if you would like to see. I just had a printout of what the subdivision will kind of look like, the plat.
Yeah,
looks
you
like.
can give that to Brenda and Crystal, and they'll scan it and email it to the magistrates too, and you can see that. And anytime you want to go out there as well, I encourage everyone to always go out there and call Abraham and get a tour, and he's good at that. I'm not quite positive what the rest of his day always looks like, but when it comes to taking a tour, he is no one's better. But if you're really looking to see what's going on, talk to Katie and everything. But we do appreciate greatly. It's a great honor to partner with you, and we're looking forward to this subdivision.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right. Thank you all. All right, we'll resume item number 7. Approve second and final reading of ordinance 2318 establishing Agile Street, Aristide Drive, and Kempton Lane located in McCoy Place subdivision Phase 5 as county roads and authorizing maintenance thereon and setting speed limits thereon. Motion by Squire Williams, second by Squire Lawrence. Any questions or discussion? Well, please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 8, approve second and final reading of ordinance 2319, amending the budget of Warren County. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Questions or discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 10 is make part of the record the certificate of liability insurance for I'm sorry, I skipped over one. Item 9 is approve the 211 report for February 2023.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lasley. Any questions or discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence. Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
And now we'll go to item 10, which is make part of the record the certificate of liability insurance for Intech Contracting LLC. If there's no objection to that, that'll be made part of the record. Item 11, approve determination of the amount of $11,190.80 to Avenue Insights for software annual maintenance for the Treasurer's Office. This is a single source vendor. Motion by Squire Williams, second by Squire Lawrence. Any discussion or questions? Not, please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 12 is approved determination of the amount of $14,713 to Stryker for an additional 5 AEDs for the Warren County Regional Jail. This purchase will be funded by the jail's canteen account at no cost to the general fund. This is National Association of State Procurement Officials pricing.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Questions or discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 13 is approved determination of the amount of $4,250 to Sprouse Container for one 20-foot container for the Warren County Justice Center to store mowing and outdoor equipment. 3 quotes were obtained. This was the lowest and best quote. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Not, please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 14 is approve the first reading of ordinance 2320, rezoning property located at 9970 and 9990 Alvaton Road from residential estate to general business containing approximately .98 acres and presently owned by NC Brands LLC and Clint and Brenna Wiles.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter. Questions or discussion on that? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 15 is approve first reading of ordinance 2321, rezoning property located at 2172 and 2240, a portion of Mount Olivet Road from agriculture to rural residential containing approximately 7.88 acres and presently owned by William, Emily, Timothy, and Karen Garrity. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Any discussion or question? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 16 is approve first reading of ordinance 2322, rezoning property located at 0 Richardsville Bypass from agriculture to residential estate containing approximately 2.97 acres and presently owned by Big Dog Investments LLC, care of Don Spear.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Any questions or discussions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 17 is approve first reading of ordinance 2323, rezoning property located at 7801 and 7825 Plano Road, a portion of which from agriculture to residential estate containing approximately 2.628 acres and presently owned by Joshua and Karen Baker.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Any questions or discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 18 is approve first reading of ordinance 2324, rezoning property located at 209 Massey Road from agriculture to residential estate containing approximately 5.32 acres and presently owned by Wesley and Farrah Lambert.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Any questions or discussion on that? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 19 is grant authority for the Warren County Jailer to sign agreement with Summerall Law Firm in Washington, D.C. for submission and negotiations of federal inmate contract. This is a single source professional service vendor, and we're happy to have our jailer, Stephen Harmon, with us today to discuss this.
Good morning, Court. This particular item is a law firm that a lot of the Kentucky jailers are starting to contract with. One of our biggest sources of revenue, as you know, is the federal inmate contract. We tried to negotiate again during COVID and were declined. When I found out about this law firm and did some research, contacted him, and he gave a projection of what he thinks we'll be able to get, and he thinks he can have it done by July. So there's some paperwork in there for you to review, but every reference I called, several in Kentucky and other states have had great luck with this law firm. He has a proprietary tool that helps to put all the information in from the entire county's budget and get all that he can from these contracts in DC. So we're looking forward to contracting with him, and I can answer any questions that you have, but the contract is there for you to look at. If the contract comes to us and we don't like it, then we don't have to pay him a single cent. So I think it's pretty safe for us, and I think the benefit could be pretty big. So I'm hoping that you'll give me permission to do that today.
All right. Any questions for Jailer Harmon?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Jailer Harmon, and thank you for the hard work discovering this law firm. As many have said before, if it weren't for lawyers, we wouldn't need any, so that's good to find that out, but thank you, and look for, she's not paying attention, so appreciate that, and looking forward to their results too, and I'm sure Jailer will share that with us.
For sure.
There's the next item too.
Item 20 is accept lowest and best bid for the health care services for the Warren County Regional Jail from Comprehensive Correctional Care in the amount of $1,280,000. 4 companies registered for proposals, 2 were responsive bidders.
So for this item, one of our most expensive, other than our salaries of our staff, is inmate medical care. And so we've had Southern Health Partners for about 19 years. They registered in the process and then sent a letter saying due to staffing and having to use agency nurses, they were not going to return a bid this time. So of the 4, only 2 actually responded, and it was not close as far as the fee for the services. This is pharmaceuticals, this is the daily medical care for the inmates. What also puts the CCC company ahead is they will also do some acute care for our staff. So instead of going to an urgent care and paying the $50 copay or whatever it is, they can actually be seen in the medical unit. So it also gives a staff incentive there. But the responses weren't, the base rate was not close. And so this is definitely the lowest and best bid in this process.
I think it's important, the magistrates are well aware, but it's always a good thing for the general public to understand, $1,280,000 for medical care. And that is right from the general fund, so it is that is one more cost borne upon the taxpayers of Warren County. It's an important thing. Everyone deserves medical care, but it is eye-opening when it comes before the court. So, any questions for Jailer Harmon? You have a question?
I have a quick question. How does this compare with previous years? Is this a significant increase, about the same?
It's pretty similar. It's a slight increase from the current year that we're in, but they were going to, if we had extended with Southern Health, there would have been an increase there too. And I think it would have been pretty significant. The cost of finding nurses, especially those that will work in a correctional environment, it goes up every year. So you can imagine all of the healthcare places and hospitals that are fighting to get that pool of nursing staff. We're no exception to that, if not a bigger hurdle for companies like these to find folks that will work inside the facility. So I was pleased and somewhat surprised at the responses.
Thanks.
Great. Okay. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Any other discussion or questions for Jailer Harmon? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Jailer. Item 21, accept lowest and best bid from Scott, Murphy, and Daniel LLC for a safe room at the Plano Volunteer Fire Department in the amount of $591,199. Would like to mention beforehand that was approved through a FEMA grant for that safe room for that construction cost. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter.
This will fill a big need out in that community as it grows, and it'll be something that the community will embrace, having a place to go for a safe room. So,
Yes.
well needed.
That's exactly right, Squire Cummings. Tomorrow, we have a chance of bad weather, and again, as we keep having these things, as we find out these safe rooms become more and more valuable, and people really expect them, and they should have them, so. Thank you. Question or discussions? Not, please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 22, approved determination the amount of $1,014 to Cummins Allison Corporation for the annual renewal of the license and maintenance agreement for the IFX currency imaging money counter with WSIN integration systems for the Bowling Green Warren County Drug Task Force. Total cost of this renewal is paid from the forfeiture fund. This is a single source vendor. Mr. Loving, since you're here, I'll have you explain.
Well, as you all heard me grumble before, last year this was about $795. And seems like everything we deal with that's proprietary is, going up outrageously. This is better than the Celebrite, but this is a money counter we use. It connects to a national network. We scan the bills through there on drug buys. When we seize money, we scan the money through there, and what we call dirties up the money for seizure and ultimately forfeiture, which is going to pay for this device.
It's like the circle of life. Thank you, Tommy.
Yes,
sir. Okay. Any questions for Tommy? All right. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, item 23 is approved determination the amount of $1,091 for one Dell Optiplex 5000 desktop computer for Warren County Treasurer's Office. This is the Dell MHEC Master Agreement State Price Contract. Motion by Squire Williams, second by Squire Lasley. Question or discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 24 is approved determination the amount of $2,336.19 to Leachman Collision Center for damage to a 2021 F-15 Parks and Recreation Department truck that was damaged during the windstorms this month. 3 quotes were obtained. This was the lowest and best quote.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lasley. Discussion or question? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Items 25, approved determination the amount of $2,586.06 for parts to upgrade the stormwater backhoe. This is a single source vendor paid for by Stormwater Management. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 26, grant judge executive authority to sign the household hazardous waste grant application and all related documents.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire McWhorter. Any question or discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 27 is approved determination the amount of $5,535 to McGee Company for a roller jack for the road department to assist in repairing equipment. There were 3 quotes solicited. This was the lowest and best.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Any questions or discussions on that? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 28 is approved determination the amount of $9,987 to EFI for guardrail installation on Elrod Road for the safety of citizens. This is a single source vendor. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or question on
I
that?
don't know, Nikki, you'd be the one to answer this, since Josh's not here. I assume it's at the S curve there by Western's Farm, or exactly where this could be located at?
I have no idea, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine, I was
Yeah.
curious.
I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm on Elrod Road every day, so I mean, I think that was probably where it would go, but just curious.
I can ask him.
That's fine, we'll get it
He
later.
might be on Zoom up there.
Hey, Squire Cummings, this is Josh.
Yeah, Josh.
Hey, so this location is actually in a straight section. This is kind of across from Calvary Baptist Church's access point there on Elrod when you come across the parkway. And in the last 6 months, we've had at least 2, if not 3 vehicles run off the bank and down into the low spot of the lot. So this is just a safety improvement to try to minimize, injury due to folks leaving the road.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Josh. All right, do we have a motion on that? We do. All right, any other discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 29 is approved determination of the amount of $1,076.29 to Palmer Trucks for repairs to a dump truck number 7 for the road department. This is a leased vehicle. Services must be provided by a certified Kenworth mechanic. This is a single source vendor for this repair work. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions on that? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 30 is approve the fiscal year 2023-24 budget for the Warren County Regional Jail. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Questions or discussion?
Jailer, Harmon? How does this budget compare to last year's, as far as dollar amount, total dollar amount spent? So total approximation, is it $1 million more, or is it 500,000 more?
Six.
Okay, thank you.
Question. Any other questions for the jailer? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 31, approve first reading of ordinance 2325, rezoning property located at 0 Anderson Road from residential estate to agriculture containing approximately 1.30 acres and presently owned by Southern Saw Homes LLC, care of Chad Chaffin.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Question or discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 32 is approve first reading of ordinance 2326, rezoning property located at 5440, 5460, 5488, and 5538 Scottsville Road from residential estate to general business containing approximately 3.546 acres and presently owned by Jeff and Valerie Powell.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Question or discussions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Item 33 is approved first reading of ordinance 2327, rezoning property located at 0 Halls Chapel Road from agriculture and residential estate to residential estate and agriculture containing approximately .77 acres and presently owned by Robin and Samuel Wilkie.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 34, approve the Warren County Regional Jail Inmate Rules, Rights, and Privileges Handbook that will be effective April 1st, 2023. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Lawrence. Any questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 35, approve the Warren County Regional Jail's Manual of Policy and Procedures that will be effective April 1st, 2023. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. It appears the jailer has everything in order, so that's great. Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 36, approve budget transfers for Warren County. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Question or discussions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 37, approved determination, the amount of $31,500 of bluegrass insulation for replacement of 3 ducts on Buchanan Park Gym that were damaged significantly during a storm on March 3rd, 2023. 3 quotes were solicited. This was the only one returned, making it the lowest and best.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter.
One question.
Yep.
Since it was done during a storm, is any of this covered by insurance, or is our deductible such a manner that we probably all out of our pocket?
Cliff.
Right now, we are tiling all the storm damage, and we have a lot of roofing damage that has not been done yet. So Stephen, who's handling all our insurance now, all this can be turned in, so we can get reimbursed for it.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to be way over the deductible, so but we're still compiling those numbers, so it's great, good question. All right, please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, item 38 is approved a lease for a 2022 Dodge Ram 2500 from Enterprise, the amount of $994.73 per month for emergency management. This will replace an F-250 truck that will be sold and proceeds put toward the new truck lease. This is state contract pricing. The current truck lease is paid in full. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 39 is approve the February 2022 Treasurer's Report. Motion by Squire McWhorter.
Just want to,
Is that the 2022?
2023.
Is it 2023?
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah,
I just want to make sure.
that was a
sorry,
typo.
2023. Crystal?
It's already started, though.
As you can tell, I'm going to read whatever's right in front of me. But item 39, thank you, is approved February 2023 Treasurer's Report. The treasurer does keep up with it a little better than 1 year at a time, so that's good. All right, thank you for the correction. Any, we have a motion on that? Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. All right, thank you for the correction. Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
No one is happier than Brenda Hale right now. I will promise you that. So it's a tough job. No one says thank you, but boy, if there's one thing, it's that. Item 40, approve first reading of ordinance 2328, rezoning property located at 0 Veterans Memorial Lane from agriculture and floodplain to RM4 multifamily residential, light industrial, and floodplain containing approximately 75.58 acres and presently owned by Richard T.C. Wan, M.D., LLC.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Any discussion or questions on that rezoning? Not, please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 41. I purposely didn't change this. I appreciate the wording. Approve emergency determination in the amount of $3,981 to a tennis technology for repair to a tennis court surface at Michael Buchanan Park that was damaged by flying bleachers during the recent storms. This repair must be completed as soon as possible due to upcoming tournaments. So the bleachers themselves did not fly on their own. They were blown over there, but thank you for the clarification. But it did, yeah, but you can ask Cliff, you can see the video. That was one heck of a storm. It did damage the courts out there, so. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Williams. Questions or discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 42 is approve Resolution 2306 for the purchase of 16 Verity print bundles from Harp Election Services in the amount of $109,298 and authorize Judge Executive to sign all related documents to apply for the HB1 County Clerk Election Equipment Grant. This expenditure will be fully reimbursed through a grant from the State Board of Elections. This is a single source vendor.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lasley, second by Squire McWhirter. Any questions for our clerk?
I have a question. She had mentioned, I think before, on something else, that there will be additional units to be purchased at a later date. Is that correct?
Yes.
We will need to purchase those by November.
Yeah.
So we'll need to work that into
Yeah,
the
so-
upcoming budget.
So the clerk, we're working with the clerk now on the budget for our fiscal, our July budget for that. This one great thing about this was covered 100% by a grant from the State Board of Elections. So there's, while we're paying for this, it's a reimbursable expense for that.
Well, the second set of the other 80-something or 70-something you're in need of, they can be covered by a grant.
I would say no. The state has released, I told you all that we did the 12.5 million. The first part of the year, this grant wasn't supposed to be released as soon as it has been, but to the need of all the clerks and needing equipment, as I had told you all, a lot of the counties are transitioning over to this print on demand. So therefore, they went ahead and released the money so the clerks could start getting them before 2024. They only got 25 million. Unless other funds become available, I would say that this will be it, that we will have to be responsible. But now looking back, we have not purchased any election equipment that we've had to pay for as a county. Everything that we have done since 2010 has been paid for with grant money. So the county has not been held responsible for any funds for election equipment.
Yeah.
So, but we are going to have to probably transition this way. So we will probably need to, Greg and I talked to Doug that we're going to need to go ahead and start budgeting this money for this equipment.
And just make sure I fully understand that, can we commit to this and move forward with this program? We're kind of committing ourselves to that next step and the next purchase. And approximately, we're talking about how much money expense-wise?
Probably, I would say we're going to be looking, depending on how reapportionment goes and what we're going to be doing as far as our vote centers. I'd say we're probably going to be looking at least another $300,000.
Just 300?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I just did the numbers, and I based on what you told me.
They're about 6,000. I figure we have to have another 50. So we're looking at a little over 300, like $305,000 is what I've got figured right now. But like I said, that number could increase or it could decrease a little bit. It just depends on when we get our vote centers to see how many we're going to need. We're going to try these out. We're hopefully, if I put this order in today, I've been assured that we'll have this for the primary. So we're going to start at Living Hope and try it out, see how many we actually need, see if voters, how quickly they move through, and then we'll be able to determine how many we'll need for our centers.
I think they can look too at the efficiency of this one thing, starting off small, find out where they're working, how many is needed, and not overkill. But Lynette mentioned something, reapportionment starts for the county in May. And that process will take quite a bit. It's separate from this, obviously. It's something we have to do based on the census. But because of that, it might change our vote center. So anyone thinking, well, wherever the 6, 8 are today, that can change. The thing that's not going to change is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Tuesday voting. That is, I don't think that's changing anytime soon. So because of that, though, but people have to be ready that while we can always use our facilities, the Warren County Parks and Rec facilities, because we control them, it becomes harder and harder to find facilities that we can use. I just want to say one thing with Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, there should be no excuse for someone personally not to vote. But because of that, you can't have a vote center there and have other activities going on. If this room was a vote center, those doors would be locked from Wednesday afternoon till the following Wednesday. You can't have access. And so I will just say something very quickly. We sometimes get people saying, I'd like to have it here or here, but then I also want to have church on Sunday. It doesn't work that way. We have to have the integrity and the security of a secure election, and that's what Lynette is charged with. And so those are decisions that have to be made as well.
I will tell you too, we have 3 additional centers that we're going to be for Election Day. We've got First Baptist Church, Eastwood Church, and the Methodist Church in Smiths Grove. So we're opening 3 additional locations as well.
I got one question for you, Lynette. Are there going to be some savings on the amount of ballot printing and also the shredding of the mountain?
Definitely. Like I said, we're still early on this, so we haven't been able to really get our numbers together. But I will tell you what we had to order for this election. We had to order 100%, especially adding these other locations. So, and we probably figure 15 to 18% turnout is kind of what we're figuring.
Get shredded and
probably
70%.
The majority of them. So, and that's, but you just don't know. You don't know. You have to be prepared at all these centers to be prepared that 50% of your voters are going to show up at one location. So that's just what, these things are just so more efficient. They're also the fact that you scan the little barcode that you're getting from the e-poll book, and it scans that ballot. It takes that, especially in a primary, there's human error there, and it takes that equation out that you're going to get the right ballot. There's no waste there, and it's just more secure, in my opinion.
I have another question. Are these mandatory that we have to use these?
The state, like I said, no, it is not mandatory. Most of the majority of the counties are moving that way just because of the efficiency of it. And with the elections getting to what they are, they're getting harder and harder to manage. So that's why it's just one more thing that they're trying to make our jobs a little simpler.
So we have the flexibility. We don't have to have these in order to pull off a
We do not.
election. And the last clarifying question I have is, I know depending on the reapportionment, how many places we have to vote could change. You're thinking the number is 50. What do you think the maximum number could be?
When we started talking back last year to HARP about this, we were figuring we probably needed 75 to 100. We're thinking that that's not going to be the case. Probably with what we are seeing, and we still need to get in a couple more election cycles before we can really determine. But our early vote centers, we're really setting those up very large. Like Doug said, they're our buildings, so they are large spaces. But we will probably, because of what we are seeing so far, people aren't turning out for early voting, so we actually probably will be getting rid of a couple of those locations and opening more election days. And election day, your facilities aren't typically as large.
Lynette, has consideration ever been given to maybe using a runner to pick up ballots?
We do that. We currently do that.
I mean, that would cut down.
My staff does that.
You had to print, at first, the number that you'd end up shredding is if you just back that down and used a runner.
Like I said, we do that now when we run out of certain ballots. And actually, we have one of these, something that we started doing last year was we have one of these printers at every location. So if they run out of a particular ballot, and especially you may have, like, for instance, Smiths Grove, you know that more than likely somebody from the Buchanan Park area is not going to be voting in Smiths Grove, but you have to be prepared. So we typically, that's where we go through, knowing where all these ballots are going. We typically may only send 5 ballots for that particular ballot. If they run out, then that's why we have this one printer that we can print them. And I will say, I'd like to invite any of the magistrates, when we start going out to the voter building and actually working out to get everything ready for the election, if you guys would like to come and participate or at least see what kind of goes into all this, or the setting up of one of the vote centers. We'd like to have you maybe attend that.
It's a great idea. Yeah, it's a great idea.
To follow up the statement you just made there, if we've already have these printers on hand now, would it be possible to create the opportunity to test them to see how they work out at one location?
You can't print the volume that we're going to be needing, and to make it move as quickly through if you were trying to print that way.
And it's my understanding that by buying these 15 or 16, that will give us the opportunity to really see how well they work.
Exactly.
At really no risk to the
Exactly.
county.
And
Because this is paid for by a
This-
grant. We can see how they work. It's a tremendous step forward for ballot security. There's nothing that opens the door for ballot insecurity like having 180 extra thousand ballots floating around.
Sitting around.
And so, I think this is a good way to collect data.
We're also gonna get a chance to look at them, see how much we really like them. See how
Exactly,
much
and
efficiency
that's
they
why
bring
we're
to it.
starting slow. We're not jumping in.
And it might get a little cheaper when everybody.
We want to see what we're going to need. I mean, that's, like I said, these 16, actually, I was able to, initially, 15 was the number, but because of the grant, I was actually able to negotiate a little bit with HARP. So we're getting an extra machine there, which was the 6,000, we're saving about $3,000. So on that they're giving us another machine. So that, but like I said, this is where we've just got to, this is all new for the state. So, everyone trying to transition this way, we want to see what's best for Warren County and start slowly and get our officers to see what they think, get their feedback, get the voters' feedback, and go from there.
And so with the grant, it really is a risk-free.
Exactly.
Test
That money is, we've already, actually, if you look in your packets, I've already completed the grant information. Doug has to sign it, and we'll send it in today. So that money comes back.
Yeah.
100%. But this, you have to look at, this is where we have to look at our voters. If we're wanting people to turn out to vote, we have to make it, there has to be a balance there that we make it as easy for those voters to vote. We want them to feel that it's a quick process, it's a smooth process, so that's what we're looking at.
Which church did you say is Miss Grove?
The Methodist Church.
Great, good discussion.
I got one last, you're right, but I will say that without a doubt, the last 2 or 3 elections we've done have gone off without a hitch. It's been a great, your staff has done a great job, and it's been quick. If you're saying we're truly trying to represent the voters, I think the voters with the system we had was a great system, and it's worked well. But if it's not supported anymore, and I understand why we possibly have to make change, I just want to make sure that the court's aware, the rest of the members, that if we go this way, we can always say no to the next thing. But this is, like you said, Scott, a very low, no-risk trial run, and we'll have to evaluate it and see what we
think. Exactly.
So.
But it is, as you were saying, they have gone smoothly, but on the backside of it, and that's why I'd like for you all to see what kind of goes into this. And as we grow centers and grow centers, by the way, our vote plan is now that you can go anywhere, which is so convenient, and that's, like I said, I was actually at State Board of Elections a couple of weeks ago to get our vote plan approved. And it was echoed throughout. There were probably 12 clerks there. We're all going through the same thing. Is manpower, trying to get set up. Of course, we're lucky enough that we have so many, and we really don't realize how lucky we are to have these gyms. Because a lot of these places are having to go into schools, and schools, it's really hard because you can't get into a school, like Doug said, you can't do early voting in a school. But you're doing election day. Well, we can't get into those schools until after 4 o'clock on Monday. Trying to set those up, it's getting more and more impossible for our staffs to do it. And if we're trying to do the ballot issue, having the ballot issue of making sure that we have all the ballots at all these locations, as we add them, it's getting harder and harder. So this is why we really need to move over towards the print on demands. And I'm sorry, I am a little breathy this morning. I'm dealing with a little cold issue, so it's a little harder for me to breathe. Any other questions?
I'll take the elevator going down.
Thank you all.
Thank you for the discussion. Good comments. Any questions? Do we have a motion on that? Okay, good. Any other discussion or questions? If not, please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 43, approved lease agreement with RDK Assets, Inc. for a 2023 Freightliner grapple truck in the amount of $5,500 per month for 24 months and ratify judge executive signature on all related documents. This will be used for emergency disaster debris and response. The price includes delivery and training. This truck, by the way, is something the county has needed, and it is absolutely going to be put to use quickly. If you approve that lease agreement, it is going to be starting use April 3rd as we pick up the debris from the storm.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Williams. Any question or discussion on that?
One question.
Yes, sir.
Being a lease, at the end of the 24-month lease, where are we at? Do we buy it, or is it continue to do another one? Or?
I think what the intention would be, and what I would suggest, is we continue to lease one. Josh is on there. Yes. Well.
Yes, so, Squire, the way this lease agreement works in this company, at the end of the 24 months, if we would like to extend it, they will bring us a brand new truck. They rotate these trucks every 24 months, keeps maintenance down. This company provides similar trucks as well as garbage trucks all around the Tampa, Clearwater area, fairly large organization. So yes, we would always be in a new truck every 24 months. They'll take care of any of the engine, transmission, hydraulic, warranty related work. We're just required to maintain, routine things, oil changes, hoses. So yes, but at the end of the 24 months, if we're not using the truck, or we're not satisfied with the way it performs, we'll just turn it back in, and we'll look at other options. But I agree with Judge Gorman. This is a truck where we've had a need for it for quite some time. I think we can utilize it to clean up tree debris without having to have our road department staff sitting on the side of the road as long as they are with chippers. I think it's safer for employees, for the traveling public. Also will provide us a safer way to remove dead animals and mattresses and couches and the things that we're typically doing with hands right now. So this is something that we've probably needed for some time, and I do agree that it will be used every day. So if you have any other questions, just let me know.
I have one quick question. As I'm looking at this, I noticed it says the replacement value of the vehicle, $209,900. Are we sure we wouldn't be better off to ultimately just be buying this? We're already...
We could, and we've looked at this in the past. Historically, what we found is if we take ownership of this and we are not in a lease agreement, we do not have a fleet department. We do not have ways of providing some of the maintenance on it, and also, we would need to own it at least 4 or 5 years to get that full value of that vehicle out. I kind of thought before we made a purchase, we would try this for a couple years, see how it's used, see if this particular model fits our needs before we went in and purchased it. But definitely something we could look at in the future. We've moved as a county and our fleet to the lease program, which seems to be a little more stable on our budgeting, on what we need and how often we need it. So again, I would definitely look into a purchase in the future, but I do think right now a lease agreement is probably the best, safest option that we have.
That's a great question, Squire Aldridge. I just think this piece of equipment we've never owned or leased one ever, and it does have the articulating arm. I look at it like there's a lot more things that can go wrong with it. I hope it works great, but the one thing is we have a guaranteed price for 2 years and we have no maintenance issues on it. I think at the end of that term, we should probably look very seriously about it. I'd rather always own things, but at the same time, this is a unique piece of equipment, and our best bet might be to eliminate any maintenance issues and just have one of these for the road department. So
last question, Josh, if we say yes to this today, how quickly could we get this vehicle?
Full disclosure, I was anticipating that you would agree, and I've already been reaching out and talking with them. They could be here as early as Wednesday with the truck to train our staff. So I was supposed to let them know after the meeting. They will be putting their trainer on an airplane, and they will have 2 folks bringing the truck this way.
Yeah. If-
Well, let me help you by saying I'll make a motion
Okay.
to buy this thing.
Thank you, Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter. All right, any other questions? All right, please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we do have one before we do the claims. I've asked Jason Heflin from Crowd South to come with us, going to make a brief presentation on our Bowling Green Works, our job efforts and our workforce development efforts. So, Jason, thank you for coming today.
Thank you for inviting me. Crystal, you got a great opportunity here with Judge Gorman reading things directly from what's in front of him. If you need any ideas on how to use that power, you just let me know.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
think a lot of people could use that one. I just wanted to give you guys an update again. Thanks for inviting me back. Instead of going through a PowerPoint presentation this time, I thought I'd make it a little easier on you and just run through this new report we sent out last month. It's a new report format. It's kind of a snapshot highlight of everything. The first section there kind of goes through some of the features that we've added recently to the program. The first one are featured businesses on the Works page. The Works page is the one where people search for jobs, the most highly trafficked area of the site. This was something that's been requested by employers several times over the past year, so we obliged, and essentially what we're doing is we're working with the Chamber of Commerce and Workforce and directly with employers to find out which ones have the highest need. We're kind of blending small business in with larger businesses, but essentially popping them on the top of the page so that they get some exposure. No matter what order we put the employers in on that page, we found that whoever the first ones were got the most applications. So it wasn't a very fair system, and we wanted to kind of do it in a little more fair way, and also kind of really address the need. The second thing there, we added an incentives list. This was another request directly from the employers that use the website. The incentive list is a place where they can list out, instead of kind of free-form listing what they do, things like bonuses, any benefits that they have that help them stand apart. It's just a way for them to kind of market themselves within the program a little better. Some of them are very adamant, about signing bonuses and so forth. So they wanted to put that front and center. So we're doing that as a feature. Also, collecting that data will allow us in the future to potentially sort by it. So if you come on, once we have enough data and it makes sense, if you were to come on as a job seeker and you want to find out who has signing bonuses above $1,000, you could potentially sort by that. So it's just going to give us a little more, it's going to make it a little more robust over the long term. We also received 5 testimonials from some employers this month, giving us very positive feedback, which was great. Any of the criticism type feedback we take and we build features for to try to accommodate for that, like I just mentioned. So you'll notice lower in the report, we featured one of those testimonials just to give you guys an example, and that one is from the National Corvette Museum, I believe. So on to the numbers. The numbers are really, the first one, that 429, that's the why of why we do this. And that's the number of applications received in the month of February. So with a 35% higher rate, which is where we're at right now, among the employers, that puts us at about 150 people hired last month through the program. Which, I'll note, January and February are up 60% over November and December. There's some allegorical reasons about that, that it's the holidays and so forth, but also we shifted pretty heavily away from some of our more traditional marketing efforts to push it, and we're going really almost all in on digital right now, which is driving people directly to the employer pages. We're featuring employers on social media, putting dollars behind that, as well as Google search. If you were to go out and search for certain things, you're going to find us. We're driving them directly into the page, and so we're finding those have a much higher conversion rate, which we assumed early on, and the reason we did a lot of traditional is what traditional is great at, which is exposing something, giving something exposure to the community. So Total since launch is 2745. And then we go into that next section, which are the website visitors. It's just a little snapshot of how many people have visited it since the beginning, which is nearly 90,000. Again, we have that quote there, the testimonial, and we'll rotate some of those in as we get them so you guys can see what people are saying, positive or negative or critical. And then finally there are, we're gonna do this top 10 of employers who got the most applications each month to kind of show who's getting what. And again, the featured employers there are 3 or 4 of those in that list there, so it kind of showed us quickly the power of those featured listings. And we're going to rotate those, we think, monthly, because we want to give everybody a fair shot at having an opportunity to be at the top of the page. And again, featuring small and large businesses. We don't want to leave out our small business owners. So that's the hard data. Another effort we have going on is an employer summit. We did this last year. We tested this with the Chamber of Commerce. We invited employers down to the chamber to walk through how this program works, to walk them through SCK launch. Workforce Board talked about all the efforts that they do, job fairs, opportunities for these HR departments so employers can utilize all the things that they have at their fingertips. This year, we had such a good turnout last year. This year, we're going to split it into 2 days. Sky CTC is going to host it for us, which I think is great. They've got a lot of room and technology out there. I have recruited a couple of HR recruiting experts, one from Louisville, one from Nashville, that are going to come in and talk with us in addition to all the local resources. So I think it's going to be a good thing for the employers. We're going to use some of this program's money to try to push them to get there and fill those rooms up so we can get more people using this and keep these numbers on the right trend.
Great.
Yeah, so that's where we're at, and I would love to answer any questions you guys have.
I've got one question for you. Do you happen to know how our DR has performed over the last year, like from what it was, say, 12 months ago and to what it is right now?
I do not. Yeah. You know, I think I would love to come in here with the Workforce Board sometime together. I think that would be a good opportunity because there's some things that we're 2 puzzle pieces that when we're snapped together, I think we can really answer some of those questions.
I think we'd like to do end of April or first part of May. I've talked with John about coming in and doing a little bit in-depth presentation. Met with them last week. They've got some pretty interesting things going on that I think are turning the corner on getting people to work, and so, but we'll work with you on that too. So.
Okay, yeah, and I can get with him and we can build that together.
I have one, just curious, why are we not using this? Why is Warren County not, the jailers short of bodies? Where are we in,
Warren County's using it. Warren County Schools, in fact, is one of the featured employers this month. They have very high need, obviously, and so does City Schools. Yeah, so Warren County's using it.
We're not Warren County Schools. I'm talking, why are we at Warren County Fiscal Court? Why are we not for our jail, for our road department, for our different things? Because we're struggling to get people. I want to say, are we in this program?
Yes, some of the departments are using it.
I know the road department definitely is. I believe the jail is as well. Yep.
I believe Parks, yep. Absolutely.
Okay.
And I would encourage these departments as well to reach out to us if you would like to be one of those featured listings.
Yeah,
there's a boost there. We're obviously noticing the numbers increase with that, so I'd like to feature whoever. I want to be fair about it, of course, but I'd like to feature whoever has the highest needs. So, thank you.
Yeah, it's a good question. We'll definitely have all the departments a little boosted on there to make sure we can take care of that as well.
Yes, yeah.
Do we have a sense of where the applications are coming from?
Yeah, so that's a great question. They're really coming from, the majority of them are coming from the 10-county region. We have a lot of commuters that come here to work. Those counties that have those higher unemployment rates and the harder participation rates, I'm not going to point any fingers, but some of the counties, there's 2 or 3 that we noticed that we see more traffic from. We do get on some of the professional service positions. We see applications from Louisville and Nashville. Occasionally, we see some applications internationally for some of these businesses. At that point, we leave it up to the HR department to see if they qualify. We have actually discussed adding some questions to the form that requires them to say if they are eligible to work in the United States. I think it's interesting that those people are finding it. It's a smaller percentage, of course, but the lion's share come from the 10-county region. We're actually really pushing this out beyond, the surrounding states. So we're saying Tennessee, Indiana.
Can we refine that closer down in the 10-county area? Can we get something per county?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And that's what we could do when we come back with the workforce board.
Are we seeing an increased interest from Fort Campbell and Fort Knox? Are we seeing an influx of people coming to our site from them? Because I know we've been reaching out to them. That's one of our places that we had been trying to.
Yeah, Jason, I'll say, I met with John, went with our workforce development board last week, and we've changed something on there that is becoming, and I'm kind of excited to bring it. They have just probably found a better way. In February, though, we were having, I'd say, average luck, and in February they had like 12 applicants from Fort Campbell. So I think they've finally found a niche and a way to market to the servicemen and women who are getting out of the military and trying to have. Yep, it's amazing. You have a tough thing. Clarksville's right there, and so it's obviously easier for them there. But we've been surprised. We've had some IT people and some other ones that have that background. So John wants to come and share that, and we'll probably get him at the April meeting. But I think that's one thing they want to focus on. Our military recruiting is I think it's vital to our success, and we want to continue to be, but want to be known for a military-friendly community because they've got great backgrounds and great skill sets, and so it's a good question. We'll get John up here to discuss that specifically.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I would support that by saying that, yeah, we've seen applicant. We do advertise, we do outreach in those areas. We do, however, see a lower response than we do in the 10-county region, of course, because it's a little bit heavier lift for the move. I don't know. I'm guessing at that point. I think John would be better for that question. Yeah. But we do see applications from there. So, and we're putting effort there for sure.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yeah, and I'm happy to work with John to get information over, however. Again, he knows the data in and out, and we're kind of the tool being used. So.
One thing you do, Jason, when you do this employee, when we start doing those breakouts, those seminars, we'll send information out. It is a good thing for the magistrates to go sit in the back of the room, because they could hear directly from the employers what their issues are and what they're looking for. It might be a better way, if their schedule allows, to be able to sit there, and I think it gives them a better sense of that as well. So if we can do that as well.
Absolutely. Yep. I will I'll work with the chamber to make sure you guys are on that list. That'd be great if you could be there. Okay.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you guys
Jason,
again, and I'll see you in a couple months.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, our last item up, I purposely made them wait, is the claims. Will the treasurer please report the claims?
General Fund, $1,016,489. Road Fund, $91,626. Jail Fund, $446,213. Stormwater Fund, $58,841. LGEA Fund, $12,875. E911 Fund, $16,016. And Fed Forfeiture Fund, $1,302. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? We have a motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Any questions for Greg? If not, please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence. Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Sheriff Hightower,
Thank you, Judge.
good to see you this morning. Lynette, just get some medicine. You're good. You've spoken enough. No, it's good. Everything else going good, so that's good. Jailer, good to see you. Yes, Leah is here, and Cliff, you have anything for us? You're just here for Chris, where I know he's got some things going. Thank you all for coming as well. All right, Nikki, come forward, young lady.
Household hazardous waste, Household Hazardous Waste Day, sorry, is Saturday, 8 to 1 at Salt Barn, Larned Drive, come rain or shine.
Rain or shine.
Rain or shine, unless it's really, really bad, in which case we will not do it, but we'll have to wait and see. Same as always, your hazardous waste, no tires, no like regular, large, bulky items. It's not that type of event. It's just for, your paint, pesticides, motor oil, electronics, that type of stuff. We know the drill.
Yeah, that's great.
Thanks.
It's a great program that we do for the citizens. A lot of people. It's a heck. If you've never been to one of them before, it is an unbelievable amount of people that go out there. So this Saturday 8 to 1. So Nikki, thanks for. Yeah, that's right. 10 till 1 is not your best option to show up out there, but 8 to 1 out there at Lauren Avery Drive. Come out there and thank you for all the hard work on that.
And thanks, Jailer Harmon. We cannot do it without inmates.
Well, they're all healthy now, and we have all that taken care of. So everything's just come to work out great. It's fantastic. It's good, and they'll follow all the policies and procedures we did as well. All their rights and privileges. So that's good. So, but thank you for doing that. Thank you, Nikki. All right, I don't see Holly here. Travis, are you going to tell us if the weather's going to be good enough to do the hazardous waste today?
We're monitoring the weather. We are expecting some strong to severe storms coming in starting tomorrow during the day. The worst outlook for severe weather could be Friday evening through early Saturday morning. But we're keeping a good watch on it. If anything changes, we're supposed to get another update in the morning. And once we get that update, we'll be sure to push it out to you.
Great. Thank you so much. All right. Mr. Peterson, I see you back there. Everything good in your world, I'm sure. Thank you. All right. James, thank you. And again, tell Miley it's great. Thank you for doing a presentation. We appreciate that very much. So, Squire McWhorter.
Should congratulate Warren Central for the state. We should have them up here.
We will. We will.
Congratulations.
Yep, absolutely. A great, fantastic thing. As many people know, one of the few states left, I think there's only 2, that do not have classes in, I know we have a single A class, but who doesn't have classes in the main thing of basketball. And so when you win the state champion, many states have 5 and 6 state champions. When you win the basketball state championship, you are the champion of the whole state, so it's fantastic. They had a great career.
I should say to you, thank you for being the announcer at the basketball game for 22 years, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And we'll miss you up there because you do a fantastic job.
Very, very kind. I want to get out before everyone else got out of there. So, no, it's a lot of fun. But I've had seats on the floor for 20 years. I've never sat in them, so I am looking forward to going to the games. But I've got just a couple things juggling, so I think that might be a good thing to step away. So, great opportunity. They're having tryouts, and there'll be a lot of excitement up there. So it's great. Thank you for saying that, Squire Aldridge.
Just wanted to, in advance, congratulate again retirement for Ms. Brenda Hale, Reed Smith, and of course again mention Mr. James Miley that we this morning. So thank you very much for their years of service and all that they've done for the county.
Very well. Squire Cummings.
I want to say, first of all, it was great to see Brenda today.
Amen.
We missed her around here, and glad to see you on your feet. Hope you continue to get that full recovery that we're all hoping for you. So, but it's really good to see you this morning. I want to echo what Rex said. This is my alma mater, Warren Central High School, on their state championship. They were within the eyelash of being back-to-back state champions. So, just want to congratulate them, Coach Anseld, and all those kids. They're all good. They're just great kids too.
Yeah.
So, and then I want to, just a sad note, just want to acknowledge passing of one of my good friends, Chuck Blair, this past Saturday. Unexpected heart attack, and just pray for his families as they move forward from there. But he was instrumental in helping with Soapbox Derby here in Warren County, and been a fixture out there for years. So just want to say my condolences on his family and wish them well.
Yeah, good comments. Thank you, Squire Cummings. Squire Williams.
Yes, Judge. One thing, our community continues to fight back from the damage that we suffered from the tornadoes and the recent windstorms. Blown down a lot of trees. Our canopy has really been depleted. And I know that Operation Pride, in conjunction with some local merchants and and grant funds have some opportunities coming up for people to get some trees and maybe replace some of the ones that they lost. For Arbor Day, and that's coming up in April, but on April the 14th, beginning, it says from 9 to 12, again, it won't last that long. 107-gallon trees and a bag of mulch each are available at Kroger on 31W Bypass. That is sponsored by Kroger. On April the 20th at Ephraim White Park, they will be giving away 70 7-gallon trees, each with a bag of mulch, and that is sponsored by State Farm. They do have some plantings that they're doing on their own and in conjunction with other local organizations. They'll be planting some trees in the Jennings Creek area over behind the schools over there as part of that outdoor classroom project. So Operation Pride, very active, and I hope everybody has seen our entranceways to our community off I-65. They look wonderful. Our new veterans flags, armed services flags are up.
Yep. Yes.
They look wonderful. So,
it's fantastic. Great update. Thank you. Squire Lawrence?
Yeah, Judge, I just want to congratulate Warren Central and Coach Unseld. I'm a Dragon myself, so I'm so proud of them.
Yeah.
I also want to thank you for allowing me to go to the Human Rights Commission dinner for the Women of Achievement. I got to represent the county there, and that was such an honor and a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you for going. Yep, I appreciate that. Squire Lasley?
I'll echo what folks have been said. It was a great season by Warren Central, but it really was an outstanding season for the high school athletes across all sports. Bowling Green won their 4th straight region championships. This is 20 years in a row that a school from Warren County has represented region 4 at the state tournament.
Yeah.
They've won 3 of them, 3 runners-up. A lot of the theater productions by the local high schools are in full swing. I've had a chance to go to a couple of those. They're doing an outstanding job. Looking forward to a great spring season, and appreciate the work that both the city and the county's doing in helping with the cleanup, and that's it.
Great, thank you. It is a great, I appreciate those words. You look around, I went to Greenwood's Beauty and the Beast with a couple of my grandchildren there, but it's just a fantastic thing. We're blessed. The junior high Bowling Green Junior High has got they had a great presentation, and there's so many things to do. It makes us a unique community, and a lot of people want to be here for a good reason. There's so many great things going on. We will have the Dragons up here live and in person soon, and have them up here as well. Ms. Milliken? Sorry.
I was getting a tag on your coat.
Sorry.
Give me some attention. I wanted to, absolutely, as a Raider, I want to congratulate the Dragons. I'm thrilled for them. Coach Unseld has done such a fantastic, he's completely turned that program around, he and Coach Riley, and we're so proud of all of those boys. And then I started with the county in 1986 when I had a bow in my hair, and Marie Smith was here for every day of it when we all worked for Judge Basil Griffin. And then I campaigned on a tricycle when my uncle ran for jailer, and my mother went to work at the Warren County Jail, so she's worked for the county for a long, long time. Is Marie 52 years, and Mom, are you 42?
No, 59 years for Marie and 42 for your mother.
So Warren County Fiscal Court is going to have a very different look on April 1st. And so they have dedicated their lives to the service of the people of Warren County. And we are so appreciative for their service. And I just want to let them know we appreciate them, and we're going to miss them. And we're sure glad that they serve. So thank you for all you've done for Warren County.
Thank you.
One more time.
Please, take your time.
And so Doug and I attended, and Sheriff Hightower attended a forum regarding fentanyl on Monday in Simpson County. It was a regional meeting. And so I'm trying to take every opportunity I can to tell everyone about the dangers of fentanyl. And feel free, Sheriff Hightower or Judge Executive Gorman, to pipe in. But we learned that fentanyl costs about $1.20 per pound to make. It takes less than my pinky fingernail to kill you. It's airborne, and so our law enforcement, our first responder medical, our firefighters, our teachers, everyone that could possibly come in contact with it, they're in danger. It is killing our children. And it is very important that you talk to your children about the dangers of taking any type of medication that is not prescribed to them by a physician, because they are using this fentanyl to pill press, to give these people a higher high, so to speak. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sheriff Hightower. And what will kill Doug will not kill me, and what will kill me will not kill Doug. We had over 180 admissions to the emergency room, both emergency rooms in Warren County last month for overdoses. We had 5 deaths, 5 too many, 180 too many overdoses. So please, please talk to your children, educate them about the dangers of fentanyl.
Yep, great comments. Thank you, Amy. Yep. Greg?
Judge, I just want to wish Miss Brenda and Miss Marie a very happy retirement and let them know that we'll all miss them.
Great, thank you. Crystal, do you have anything for us today?
Nope.
I didn't think so, that's fine. Brenda, it's good to see you back here today.
Thank you, and I want to thank the magistrates, the new ones and the past ones, and I want to thank the department heads. They've always been super nice to work with, but especially you, Judge Gorman.
Wow.
You have been extra nice, and I think you'll lead the county into greater things, so
Very kind.
thank you.
Yep. Deputy Judge Smith, I see you over there. Yeah, you're welcome. So hopefully everyone knows, but we need the whole general public to know we are we're having a get-together next Friday, March 31st, from 1 to 3. We're going to have a retirement celebration for both Fiscal Court Clerk Brenda Hale and Deputy Judge Marie Smith. So it is a transition that is it's hard for the county. Over 100 years, which is amazing. Over 100 years of dedicated service to the citizens of this community. And so we'll have much more to say then next Friday, but we'll have something up here, nice things. We'll have some comments at 2 o'clock, and I would just encourage the entire community. We have a lot of people that want to come by and wish them well. It is one heck of a transition. What I will tell you is, while I'm excited about everyone that's here, on a personal note, I have some apprehension about a new job that every 10 minutes I'm asking one of them what I'm supposed to be doing. And I don't think I'll have it all figured out by next Friday at 4 o'clock, and so that's what the concern is. But I know they'll be available, and we'll see them quite a bit after that. I just want to say we'll have much more to say next Friday, but what an honor it's been to, for me, for the last 9 years, to work with both of them very closely. And for Marie, I've told I'm not going to tell the entire story, but the first time I ever met Marie was in 1988 when she called me about a meeting I was supposed to have with Judge Griffin. I'm not going to tell you about what was said at that meeting. I said nothing. He said a lot to me, and I'm still taking therapy from that. But when Marie called, just as kind then as she is now, it's been an amazing thing that both of them done. So thank you all for that very much. Reminder, to all citizens, April 3rd we'll begin to have the pickup of the debris from the storm, so please start to cut that, get it out to the street for us so they can do that. We will not be going onto private property, so if you have a tree down the backyard and you can't cut it up, again, That's the joy of being a homeowner. You'll have to find someone to do that. We are not allowed to go on private property, yes.
Inside the city limits by the city is,
And the city, yes, in the city limits, they're going by zones. You can go to the website. Ours will have ours as well on there, but the city is going by zones. They're starting in zone 1, which I think is the western part of the city. And same thing, they're beginning Monday to start picking that up as well. Tommy Lawrence has a big birthday coming up on April 11th. So if everyone could please, he'll have more details about his party that he'll throw for himself. If you'll get with Squire Lawrence and he'll scare that away, but happy birthday in advance. Our next meeting will be Thursday, April 13th at 8 a.m. We have a statewide event in town on that Friday. The governor will be in town for early on Friday, so we had to change our next meeting again. But it's Thursday, April 13th at 8 a.m. I hope everyone has a tremendous rest of the week. We have a motion to adjourn. Squire Lawrence, second by Squire McWhirter. We are adjourned.